Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Welcome back, everybody. Today we begin lesson number 3. In this lesson, we're going to learn 4 new letters. Looking over here at our chart, we've already covered these 4. We've learned these 3, so that means we know a total of 7 letters. Don't start this video if you do not yet know these letters. If you don't know them, go back, study them, perfect them, recognize them, pronounce them correctly, and move on to today's video. Today we're going to learn these 4 letters. And they are Dal, Dhal, Ra, Za. Let's begin with the letter Dal. It's pronounced as the following. Dal. Dal, Dal. Very good. The letter Dal is light, and you should already know what that means. Back of the tongue is flat. Do not make it bold. Do not say Dal. That's incorrect. It's Dal, like a soft D in the English language. It also has no air. Right? No air. Dal. If you add air to your dal, it will become a ta. Tal. Incorrect. We don't want that. Hold the air so that it's pronounced as dal. That being said, those are the common mistakes. Let's move to the point of origin. Where is the dal located? The dal is located in the same exact location of the ta. Right? So that means that the tip of your tongue is going to extend to where the front teeth and the gums connect, right? From the inside. You won't be able to see it, but the tip of your tongue will touch where the front 2 teeth and your gums connect, right there. So now we know that ta comes there, but we also learned today that dal also comes from that same location. How do we differentiate between the two? Well, they're both light. The only difference, ta has air, dal, no air. And that's how you're going to differentiate between the two. Recognizing the letter in the word, well, I'm going to tell you one thing for all 4 of these letters. All 4 of these letters are like alif in the sense that they can only attach to the letter before them, but not after them. So that means that alif and these 4 are the same. They can only attach to the letter before them, but not after them. So how does a dal look when it comes at the beginning? Just like this, right? How does the dal look when it's at the end of the letter? It's going to look like that with the little extension. And notice that dal has what? No dots. If all of that is clear, we can move to the next letter, which is the brother of dal. Dhal. Looks exactly like him. The only difference is that it has 1 dot. How do we pronounce it? Dhal. Dhal. One more time. Dhal. Very good. Now the letter dhal is also light. Back of the tongue stays flat. And dhal also has no air. Don't make it bold. Do not say dhal, right? And do not add air to it. If you add air to your dhal, you will turn it into one of the letters we've already learned, a tha. It will become thal. That's incorrect. Withhold the air so that it's pronounced as dhal. Where's the dhal located? Well, the dhal is located with a letter we've already learned, the tha. So, like that, the tip of your tongue will extend to the bottom of the front 2 teeth. There, you will say dhal. So the bottom of the front 2 teeth. I'm going to point out here that there's a common mistake with this letter. Okay? And it has to do with the location, not the attributes. It has to do with the location of the letter. Some people incorrectly pronounce dhal as this letter that we're going to learn at the end of the lesson, like a Z. They say Zal. And that's also incorrect. Pronouncing proper Arabic means that you pronounce each letter from its proper location. So that in order to pronounce a proper dal, you need to extend your tongue to where? The bottom of your front two teeth. How does the dal look in a word? You know, just like that. It only, at the beginning, it'll appear as an individual letter, not connected to any. And if it's going to be at the end, it will connect to just one letter before it that precedes it. If that's clear, we can move on to the next letter. This next letter is Ra. I'm going to say it. Ra. Ra. One more time. Ra. Very good. Now, this letter is sometimes bold, which is most of the time, but it can also be light. And we'll learn more about that in the rules of tajweed. For right now, know that it can be both, sometimes light and sometimes it's bold, but most of the times it will be what? Bold. So it's going to have that deep sound. Ra. We need to talk about how this is sometimes mistaken and pronounced as an R. Ra. If you can hear, there's a slight difference between the two. Rabbika. Rabbika. I pronounced one with a ra and the other with an English R. You don't want them to sound the same. They have to be different. And knowing its location will help us. I'm going to teach you something maybe you did not know or already knew about your mouth. Inside your upper gums, right? If you run your tongue across from where your teeth start and then run it all the way back, you'll notice that you have like a little bumpy side, right? A little bumpiness in your gums. And then there's a smooth side all the way in the back, right? Okay. So the tip of your tongue for the ra is going to almost reach this location, right? It's almost going to touch, but it's going to curve slightly back. So we're going to have kind of this shape, right? If that was your tongue. A slight curve. Ra. And where is it? It's close to this bumpiness, right? Ra, the bumpy side. Whereas the R in the English language is further back. Ra. It's almost closer to this smooth side and kind of away from the bumpiness. So if you find yourself pronouncing an R, move your tongue closer forward, and that should eliminate the sound of the R and give you a nice Ra sound. How to recognize the Ra? Pretty simple. It's, again, at the beginning, nothing attached to it. At the end, it's connected from one side. If that's clear, we can move on to the final letter in our lesson, and that is Za. 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 This letter is the only Z sound in the Arabic language. Why did I mention that? So we do not mistake the dal, that it has a Z sound. All right? Dal, TH, right? Like the word that. Za, like a Z. This letter is also light, but this letter has no air, right? Why do we want it to be light? You don't want it to be bold, like za. Keep it light. And no air, because if you add air to your za, it will become a sin and it becomes sa. And we haven't taken that letter. We'll get there when we get to that letter. Point of origin for za, very simple. The za, the tongue will extend to be behind the teeth as the teeth are closed. So you're going to get z, 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 right? Za. And remember to keep your tongue flat and no air. How to recognize this letter? Well, za looks just like ra. The only difference is what? It has a dot. And so at the beginning, the za will look like this as an individual letter. And at the end of the word, it'll have this small attachment. So when you look at these letters, the dal, don't mistake it for the ra. It's more curved. They both have no dots, but the dal is more curved. The dhal, do not mistake it for a za, right? It's more curved. Yes, it has a dot, but that curve makes it unique. So dal and dhal, identical. One has a dot, the other does not. One has a dot and the other does not. And ra and za are identical. One has no dot and the other has a dot. Study hard and practice, perfect these letters, and I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.